Hello, Linda. Thank you for being here with me today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Why did you feel that it would be better for you to attend an all-white public school instead of attending an all-black public school where you would have definitely been accepted?
Well, I was only 7 years old, so my father really made the decision for me, and he believed that I would get a better education from going to a white school because they had better teachers. But I was also very excited because I was from an integrated community, and a lot of my friends went to the white school that was only a few blocks away, so I wanted to go to school with them, and I believed that I would have more friends at a white school.
How did you feel when you were 7 years old and your father used you as an example for civil rights and let the NAACP?
Well, like I said before, I was only 7, so I didn't really know at the time, but now looking back, I think it was a good example because it showed that I had more friends in the other school and that it would have been more fun for me, and I was used to being integrated with the white kids, and I think it was a really good example to show that we shouldn't be segregated.
Would you say that you were important for the civil rights movement?
Yes, I would say I helped show that schools should be integrated and that it wasn't good that we were segregated.
And what are you doing now in 1974? How did the case against the Board of Education affect you in the rest of your life?
Well, now my sister and I, Cheryl, give speeches to different colleges and different communities about our struggles when we were younger and about our lives. And my sister opened the Brown Family Foundation in honor of my father who died 10 years ago in 1961. And we just tell people about our story, but we also believe that our story is only one of the many stories that there are of black kids struggling, and everyone needs to hear the other stories as well as our stories.
Well, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, Thurgood Marshall. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
What made you want to represent the NAACP and Linda Brown in the case of Brown versus the Board of Education?
Well, I really felt that based on my past experiences in the school system, I thought this was a good opportunity for me to make a stand. I was rejected from various schools when I tried to get into law school, and it was because of my color, and I wanted to take a stand for all the people who wanted to apply or wanted to attend schools because they wanted a higher education. And I also believed in the separate but equal doctrine was not in effect enough for black people, so that was a big issue for me, and that's why I wanted to take part in this trial.
You talked about other cases. What other cases have you led?
My first big case that I was involved in was the Murray case, and we wanted to find a candidate who was just like me and applied to a school and did not get in because he was black. And so Murray applied to the University of Maryland, and when he didn't get in, we used this for our advantage and tried this case. And so we had that case, and also Lloyd L. Gaines versus Southwest Canada Registrar on the University of Missouri. That was another case where we were using this issue of not getting in and use that to try against the education system.
How does the Board of Ed victory compare to your other victories with the NAACP and for civil rights in general?
I feel that the Brown versus Board of Education trial was my biggest accomplishment because, like I said with the Murray case, it was a success in that Murray was able to attend the University of Maryland the following fall, but it wasn't a complete success because he wasn't accepted there. The University of Maryland had very different ways of trying to keep him out, and it just wasn't a huge success for us. And even though it broke a barrier, it did not break the hugest barrier like Brown versus Board of Education, which was more of a nationwide success with its growing popularity throughout the country.
How do you think that your decisions will affect the future, sitting here now in 1974?
I think that the Brown versus Board of Education will definitely pave the way to integration in all areas. I feel that in the future there will be black teachers and business people, maybe even the president. Just so many different streets have been opened to black people because of this third-grade girl who was able to attend a school that was closer to her than 6 blocks away. And I feel that it just really opens up even more doors to the people who want to further their lives. For me.
Hello, Mr. Kenneth Clark. Thank you for being here
Hello,
with me
thank you
today.
for having me.
What other things were you known for before the Linda Brown versus Board of Ed case?
Well, I got my degree at Howard University in psychology, and then I went on to get my doctorate at Columbia University. And I was also a social science analyst for the U.S. Office of War Information, and I studied the morale of African Americans. Along with my wife Mamie, we founded the Northside Testing and Consultation Center, and the staff used psychotherapy to help emotionally disturbed youth. And in 1951, I began helping the NAACP, and I worked on other cases regarding educational segregation before I worked on the Linda Brown case.
What did you do specifically for the NAACP in the case of Linda Brown versus the Board of Education?
I organized tests to prove that black children felt inferior to white children, and I did this through a series of tests, and I wrote a paper on it that they cited in the case. The court cited it, and it helped them win the case.
How did you test your theory that black kids were affected by segregation?
Our famous test was the doll test, where we would have a black doll and a white doll, and we'd ask a black child to choose the doll that they thought looked pretty and the one that they thought didn't look good. And the majority of the time, they would choose the black doll as the one that they didn't think looked good. And so it proved that they had a negative self-image and that they thought that society accepted white people more.
Do you think that you played an important role in the Brown versus Board of Education case?
I would say that I played a very important role. The information that I provided to the case was very vital to the NAACP winning, and without the information that I provided, they might not have won.
Well, thank you. Hi Earl, thank you for being here with me tonight. So, explain how you got your career started in law.
Well, I attended the University of California where I got my law degree, and then I went on to the Alameda County District Attorney's office where I was there for 18 years as a prosecutor. And there I realized that it was very important to keep the rights of the accused in mind, and I also fought for those people that couldn't afford a public defendant to have one. And in 1931, I received a very special devotion. There was a survey, and it said that I was the best district attorney in the U.S., which was very honorable. And I made my way to become the Chief Justice because during Eisenhower's presidency, well, when he was running for president, I helped him out, and he gave me this position as saying thank you, and because I was very qualified for it.
Now, in between your law and being a Supreme Court Justice, you were the governor for the state of California. How did that affect you as a politician?
Well, as governor of California, I was there for many years, and I added many old age and unemployment benefits. I also inaugurated public work programs for schools, parks, highways, and hospitals, which was pretty much just to help the population, and it was really to adapt to the population increase that there was in the U.S. during this time.
As a white male, what made you feel that African Americans deserve the same rights as white people did, especially in schools?
Well, I wish to base cases on fairness as much as legal precedent. I got a lot of criticism and praise for this, but I believe that fairness was very important, and it led to the overturning of the 60-year separate but equal doctrine during the Brown Board of Ed case. I also took individual rights very seriously, and I relied, especially for the Brown versus Board of Ed case, I relied a lot of that case on social sciences and psychological research. And many people criticize this, but I believe that was what was right, even though it went not according to the Constitution at some points.
And why did you publish your opinion on the Plessy versus Ferguson separate but equal case with the Supreme Court?
For the Plessy versus Ferguson case, as many people ignored, I saw that it wasn't actually separate but equal, and it wasn't separate but equal for the schools either, which is why I made the decisions that I make in those two cases.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Brian.